Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris and today we're diving into not one, but two palettes from Amorus USA. We have the Sun palette and the Moon palette. Ooh, I should switch that. The Sun palette and the Moon palette. On this side I have the Moon palette and on this side I have the Sun palettes. These palettes retail for $17 each, or you can get them both as a bundle for $30. So this is Sun. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful details to this packaging. This is how the back looks like, just a bunch of information. And this is Moon. And this is the back. And the palettes look just like the boxes. These feel like books. There is weight to this. This feels like it should be like 50 bucks. Almost forgot to mention that the details on the palettes is embossed. All of this you can actually feel popped out on the palette. It feels so nice. The palettes are too thick, they're rather thin. They aren't too big either, so that means that they are travel friendly. There are 27 shadows in each of these palettes. I used 32 shadows today, guys. I think that might be a new record for me. The company is cruelty free, so that means the palettes are too. We have a 24-month shelf life for both of these palettes, 36 grams, made in China, and they do contain talc and mica. When you open up the palette, you do have a huge mirror right there that can fold all the way back. And here's the color story for Sun. Oh my goodness, you guys. This palette is gorgeous. Right down here, you actually have a face trio. I already have bronze on my face, but I did use the blush and the highlighter for both palettes because the Moon has the same kind of layout, but it's different colors. And just like Sun, Moon also has a huge mirror that can fold all the way back. And here is Moon. Oh my goodness, guys. I cannot tell you how gorgeous these shadows perform. The formula is just amazing. Speaking of the formula, the mattes in both of these palettes are pigmented and they are buildable. The shimmers work really great dry. I didn't have to wet my brush. You can go with the finger as well. And get this, the pressed glitters, which I know not a lot of people are a fan of when it comes to having pressed glitters in palettes. I have one on this side and one on this side, and I didn't even use any glitter glue. The fact that I didn't need glitter glue to add that, big bonus. So here are the pre-record swatches for the Sun palette. All of the mattes in the Sun palette I went in 2 times, and for all of the shimmers I went in 1 time. For the glitters I just went in a few times just to show you guys how it will look all together because it is glitters. And the same goes really for the Moon palette. For the mattes I went in 2 times, and for the shimmers I went in 1 time. For the glitters, same thing. I just went in a few times to show you how it looks all together. So I want to go ahead and take some live swatches for you guys right now of the Sun palette. I'm going to take Fire, Bask, Soul, and let's take Dawn since I didn't get to use that as a bronzer. Here they are on my fingers. I'm going to put them right here. Fire, Bask, Soul, and this is Dawn, which is a bronzer. There you go. How beautiful. How beautiful is that? Now I'm going to take 4 from the Moon palette. I'm going to go ahead and with Moonlight, Earth, let's take Halo, and let's take Secrets. Here they are on my fingers. I'm going to put them right here. Go, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ooh, 4. And there you go. Since this is 2 eye looks for 2 palettes, the eye demo is just going to be a little bit longer. So if you want to see a specific palette in action, I would suggest just going down into my description box and looking at the timestamp so you can look at the exact time that the eye demo starts for the palette that you want to see. But before I started my actual eyes, I went ahead and I tested out the blush. So starting off with the Sun side, I took a flare and I went ahead and I put it on my cheek. It's a softer blush for my skin tone. I'm not sure how this will show up on darker skin tones, but for me it was on the softer side. Then I took my highlighter brush, dry, and I picked up Sunbeam. Now, kid you not, guys, as I'm putting Sunbeam on my cheekbone, I'm like, holy chalupas. It's literally beaming. Honestly, that wasn't enough for me. So then I went in with my finger into the palette to pick up some glitter. And I chose the Universe one. And I swear to you, I only took a little bit on my finger and I put it right on top of the highlights. And it literally is insane. That combination is a nice dupe for the Extreme Frost that Jeffree just finished coming out with, the latest one that was pretty expensive. That frost has like kind of like that glitter shine. Same thing here with this combination. Nice little dupe. For this eye look today, I use 6 Morphe brushes. Of course, I put down the Kylie Cosmetics Maple Concealer, and then I blend it out with a Juno & Co sponge. The first shade I'm diving into is Destiny, and I'm using it with a M222 brush. I'm just picking it up and I'm stamping it across my crease and going all the way out into a wing. Slightly on top and above Destiny, I take the same brush, M222, and I go in with Happiness. It does show up nice, but what I realized was that as I'm putting Happiness down, I was kind of losing Destiny, which happens a lot when you're blending shadows, so it's no big deal. I did go back into Destiny and I did put the color back. So after blending those two shadows together, I went in with my M326 brush into Sunrise. And similar to Happiness, I went in with too much, and although it is a very pretty yellow, I didn't want to lose that orange, so I went back in once again with Happiness just to bring the color back onto my lids. Then going back in with the Kylie Cosmetics Maple Concealer and using the M167 brush, I went and cut my crease. I did the entire lid all the way out today, and then after cutting my crease, I patted it in. The first color that's going to go onto that cut crease is Summer, and I took that on a JH41 brush. Right next to Summer, I went back in with Happiness because honestly, I find that orange to be a great transitional shade, and it really just looks so vibrant. Speaking of vibrant, next shade that I went into was Lucky. Lucky is stunning. So of course I did put that on the lid. For the remainder of the lid, I went in with Future, which is that beautiful lime shimmer. And as I mentioned earlier, I did use a dry brush. There was no need to wet the brush whatsoever. For my inner corner highlight, I went in with the M326 brush, and I took Shooting Star. I went in very lightly, you guys, and put it in, and bam, it was there. Moving along, I went down to the lower lash line, and with the JH39 brush, I took up Delight. And of course, I ran it all under my lid. Did connect it as well to the back. Using the same brush, I went in with Sunrise because I just want to soften it at the bottom. Now for my brow bone, I went back in with the M326 brush, except this time I took up Illumination. And honestly, out of all the highlighter kind of shimmers in this palette, this is a much softer one. I can still see it on my lid. I mean, it's gorgeous. Okay, so now it's time to move on to the Moon palette. As I mentioned earlier, I did start off with the blush, and I picked up Muse. Out of both of the blush shadows, Muse is my favorite one. Then I took my highlighter brush and once again dry, picked up Moonbeam. Moonbeam is such a beautiful highlight. I know I said that for the other ones, but this one has a hint of purple. But of course, I couldn't stop there. So just like the other palette, I went in with my finger to pick up a glitter, and this time I picked up Full Moon. And I took it lightly on my finger and I gently tapped it right on top, and look at it. Undeniably gorgeous. Let me digress a bit. As always, starting off this look with the Kylie Cosmetics Makeable Concealer on my lid and then blending it out with the Juno & Co sponge. First shade that I'm picking up with the M222 brush is Dark Night. This thing is super pigmented. However, I do notice that it does have a bit of fallout, so be careful when putting this on your lid. Either do your face last or put some setting powder down on your face so that it doesn't trickle down, because this one, it does have a bit of fallout. Slightly on top of Dark Night, and above it, I went in with Saga with the same brush, but what I realized is that they looked so similar, and that's not the look that I was particularly going for. I wanted something that was lighter, so then I started to go really lightly in with Saga. Then I took my M326 brush and I picked up Celine. Just like the sun side, for the moon side, I blended everything together and I just made sure it looked gradient. The shadows are pigmented and they are beautiful. Next, I went back in with my M167 brush to cut my crease, and I did the same pattern that I did on the sun side. Now it's time to go ahead and put some shimmers on my lid. So I took the JH41 brush and I started off with Galaxy. Galaxy is absolutely beautiful. Next to Galaxy, I went in with Eclipse because you guys know I cannot shy away from purple. So Purple is on the lid today. And again, I'm using a dry brush. Next to Eclipse, I went in with Pressure. It's just one of those vibrant blues that honestly, if you're a blue lover, your heart is just gonna go soaring when you see this blue. And then to finish off my lid, I went in with Magic. Magic is a very unique shadow to me in this entire palette because it's just not a normal shimmer that you see in palettes. For my inner corner highlight, I went back in with the M326 brush, except this time I picked up Twilight. Now honestly, in the pan, Twilight looks like it's gonna be dark, but what I didn't expect is that using a dry brush would make this thing show up beamy. Moving on to lower lash line, I went back in with the JH39 brush, except this time I took up Mystique. To be honest, it wasn't as bright as I expected it would be, but it's still beautiful, so really no complaints from me, but I do feel like that you should know. Under Mystique, I went in with Fate. Now Fate in the pan looks darker, like it looks like a lavender. When I put Fate underneath, I was like, where is it? I did see that it softened up the bottom of Mystique, so I know it was going on my lid, but I just didn't see the color. I am gonna test that shadow out again on just like a tacky base concealer to see if maybe that brings it out better. But because of that situation, I went ahead and I picked up Romance with the same brush and I went underneath Mystique to tie in the look. For my brow bone, going back in with the M326 brush, I went back in with Twilight. I almost forgot that I wanted to show the glitter on my lid, so I ended up doing both of these at the very end. So I went back in with the Sun palette and I picked up my Morphe M158 and went in with Luminous, and I just went in between the green and the burnt orange, and then I stopped right when I got to the green, and again, no glitter glue. For the moon side, I went in with Worship. I really love the way it just tied the look together. And lastly, you guys, I went in with my Calligrapher liner from Glam Lights and my Big Eagle mascara. And then to top off everything, I went in with the Glam Light Margarita Pizza lashes. Of course, I did everything off camera to save time. However, what I did do off camera, which I wish I had shown, I took the M158 brush and I went back in with the Sun palette and I took the shadow Shine and I put that in my waterline. And for the moon side with the same brush, I went back in with Pressure and I put that in my waterline. On my lips, by the way, I am wearing the Amorus lip liner and lipstick. This is a cream lipstick called Sandy and the liner is called Natural. And that's it, you guys. This is the look that I created. This is the moon side. And this is the sun side. Let me know which side is your favorite. Let me know which palette has got your eye, or maybe both. These are so affordable and are amazing quality. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.